Barack Obama. In the face of impossible odds, people who love this country can change it. If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. There's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. We don't ask you to believe in our ability to bring change. Rather, we ask you to believe in yours. Nothing can stand in the way of the power of millions of voices calling for change. Focusing your life solely on making a buck shows a poverty of ambition. It asks too little of yourself, and it will leave you unfulfilled. It's important to make sure that we're talking with each other in ways that heal, not in the way that wound. Change will not come if we wait for some other person, or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. We are the change we have been waiting for. Our stories may be singular, but our destination is shared. You can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. While we breathe, we will hope. The worst thing that colonialism did was to cloud our view of our past. A lot of shelter dogs are mutts like me. You can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. Where you are right now doesn't have to determine where you end up. Cynicism is a sorry kind of wisdom. We may not be able to stop evil in the world, but how we treat one another is entirely up to us. My identity might begin with the fact of my race, but it couldn't end there. At least that's what I would have chose to believe. A nation that cannot control its energy sources can't control its future. Change is never easy, but always possible. All too rarely do I hear people asking just what it is that we've done to make so many children's hearts so hard, or what collectively we might do to right their moral compass. What values must we live by? We will outreach the hand if you unclench your fist. There is no excuse for not trying. To those Americans whose support I've yet to earn, I may not have won your vote tonight, but I hear your voices. I need your help, and I will be your president too. My little girls can break my heart. They can make me cry just looking at them, eating their string bean. Someone once said that every man is trying to live up to his father's expectations, or make up for their father's mistakes. You might be locked in a world not of your own making, her eyes said, but you still have a claim on how it is shaped. You still have responsibilities. Each of us deserves the freedom to pursue our own version of happiness. No one deserves to be bullied. I wish the country had fewer lawyers and more engineers. Each path to knowledge involves different rules, and these rules are not interchangeable. At the moment that we persuade a child, any child, to cross that threshold, that magic threshold into a library, we can change their lives forever, for the better. But you see, a rich country like America can perhaps afford to be stupid. We may come from different places and have different stories, but we share common hopes and one very American dream. It's not surprising. Then they get bitter. They cling to guns or religion or antipathy to people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant sentiment, or anti-trade sentiment as a way to explain their frustrations. This shit would be really interesting if we weren't in the middle of it. To those leaders around the globe who seek to sow conflict or blame their societal ills on the West, know that your people will judge you on what you can build, not what you destroy. There's nobody to guide through the process of becoming a man, to explain them the meaning of manhood, and that's a recipe for disaster. All the education and good intentions in the world couldn't help plug up the holes in the universe, or give you the power to change its blind, mindless course. And it's safe to assume that those in power would think longer and harder about launching a war if they envisioned their own sons and daughters in harm's way. Although the principle of equality has always been self-evident, it has never been self-executing. What makes a man is not the ability to have a child, but having the courage to raise one. This victory alone is not the change we seek. It is only the chance for us to make that change. We are a people of improbable hope. Religious freedom doesn't mean you can force others to live by your own beliefs. If they bring a knife to a gunfight, we bring a gun. Be conscious of God and speak always the truth. This is the moment we must come together to save this planet. Let us resolve that we will not leave our children a world where the oceans rise and famines spread and terrible storms devastate our lands. I realized in some unspoken, still tentative way, she and I were already becoming a family. In the end, that's what this election is about. Do we participate in a politics of cynicism or a politics of hope? When I was a kid, I inhaled frequently. That was the point. Doubtful of what we can achieve to put their hands on the arc of history and to bend it once more towards the hope of a better day. So, let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look over not only ourselves, but each other. By the end of the 2 years, most have either changed careers or moved to suburban schools, a consequence of low pay, a lack of support from the educational bureaucracy, and a pervasive feeling of isolation. The big house and the nice suits and the other things that our money culture says we should buy betrays a poverty of ambition. Let it be told to the future world that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, that the city and the country, alarmed at one common danger, came forth to meet it. What matters is how well we have loved. Don't let your failures define you. Change won't come from the top. Change will come by mobilized grassroots. Change has come.